You've reached a point where you're really starting to appreciate the design elements you see on the web pages you visit. You're noticing how things are moved around a page, skewed, scaled, and rotated, and now you want to know how you can achieve those designs. Well, that's where I come in. My name is Peter, owner of Tilret Web Design, and in today's video I'm going to talk about CSS Transformations. I'm going to show you how to translate, skew, rotate, and scale. So, with that introduction, let's get started. As usual, we'll be using the CodePen app available at codepen.io, where you can type in your code at the top and you can see the results at the bottom of the screen there. So we'll start in our HTML panel. We'll make 4 divs corresponding to the transformations I'm going to show today, and we'll give them class names that also correspond to those, and then we'll write those names in the center of those boxes as well. So we'll have class translate, class rotate, class scale, and class skew. Also, let me put in a common class name box so we can format all these at once. Then we'll go over here to our CSS. We'll make the body display flex, align item center, and justify content space evenly. And then we can use that box class that we just used to format everything with regard to size. So we'll make everything a width of 200 pixels and a height of 200 pixels and put a border around it so we can see what's going on. Now we have the writing in the middle, so we want to get that in the middle. So let's make that a display flex, align the items in the center, and justify content center. Then we just want to up the font size a little bit. We'll make that 28 pixels. And then we're ready to do our individual boxes now. So our translate box, we'll give that a background color of green. Copy those down and then just change each color. So our rotate, we will make a background of blue. Our scale will make the background of orange, and our skew we will make purple. And then just a couple of more things I want to do before we start showing the individual transformations. We'll go up here, we will make our font color white so those show up a little better, and then we'll just bump those boxes down a little bit by putting our margin top to 30 pixels. And now we're ready to show each individual transformation. So the first I'll show is transform translate, which moves elements left and right and up and down. And you can assign these individually. For example, typing in transform translate X minus 50 pixels moves your element 50 pixels to the left. Likewise, transform translate Y and then putting a positive number 50 pixels moves that element 50 pixels down. And then you can combine the two into one statement. The first entry is the X and the second is the Y. So here we have negative 30 pixels to the left and 50 pixels down. Our next transformation is rotate, which, as the name indicates, rotates elements to the left or to the right. Now I should mention there are 3-dimensional rotations, but I will discuss those in a later video. So let's go over here to our CSS under our second box here, which is blue, with the class name rotate, and then all we have to do is type in transform, rotate, and then enter a value. In this case, we'll enter it in degrees, rotate 45 degrees. Those units can also be in radians, so let's type in 1 radian, and you see that shift. You can also use negative values as well, so transform, rotate, negative 22 degrees, and that's what that looks like. So, very simple. Next is transform, scale, which, as the name indicates, makes elements bigger or smaller. So over here we will use our box with a class name scale and type in transform scale. And this doesn't require units. 1 is your base value, so anything higher than 1, 1.2 for example, makes it bigger. Value smaller than 1, 0.75, makes it smaller. So there's not much more to say about that one. Very simple. And our final transformation is skew, which tilts things to the left or to the right. So we'll come over here to our CSS, to our purple box there called skew, and we'll type in transform skew. If you enter one value, it skews it in just one direction. So in this case here, we'll put skew 22 degrees and see it tilt over like that. You can also use 2 values, which kind of does a double skew. So in this example, let's type in transform skew negative 15 degrees and negative 15 degrees, and you can see this skewing in 2 different directions. And then I also wanted to point out that that text in the middle also skews. So if you want to change that and make that straight, I'll show you how to do that right now. We'll go back over to our HTML. Where it says Skew, we'll turn that into an H4 tag. And then we can come back to our CSS and we can style that H4 tag. So when it shows up back on the screen here, there it is. And we'll just type in H4 and then do the opposite values we just put in for our elements. So H4, transform, skew, and then we'll use 15 degrees and 15 degrees. And you can see how that text straightens out in the skewed element. So that's a cool little trick you can use on your own. So that's it. And again, I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.